Hello everybody, I'm Jessicat, and welcome back to the Mountain Queen world for, you guessed it, another episode of Uncut Ramblings. It actually feels like it's been a while since I've done one of these. It probably hasn't, but it feels like it's been a while, so, it's good to be doing this, chilling and playing some Minecraft and just rambling again. And today, I wasn't sure I wanted to even make an Uncut Ramblings episode. Sorry, I'm trying to turn on my phone at the same time. This is not going well, playing Minecraft with one hand. Yes, so I wasn't really thinking of doing an Uncut Ramblings episode, and then I was thinking about what I just did today, and I was like, I could make an Uncut Ramblings episode about that now. And then I was like, oh, well, the video I was planning for today, I'm not sure I really have time to do that in one day anymore because I've just been really busy with homework and stuff. So, you know what? Let's just do an Uncut Ramblings episode. So, yes, I'm going to be a little bit honest. I'm going to be, yes, I'm going to be just a little bit honest. Great word choice there, Jessica. Now, I'm going to be honest. This is a little bit because I just needed a video to make, and this was a convenient video to make. I really shouldn't be running around with this much stuff in my inventory. I'm planning to go mining, but it's kind of dumb to go mining when you already have a ton of stuff in your inventory. Sorry. Let's run back to base real quick. But yeah, I was thinking about what I did today, and I was like, yeah, I should totally make an Uncut Ramblings episode about that because I want to, talk about this. So, what I want to talk about today, if I could get the words out right, is politics. And rest assured, we will not actually be really covering any political topics. And you're probably wondering then what exactly I could have to say about politics without ever actually covering any political topics. Well, I want to talk about the political process in general. Sorry, I changed the controls on my... Well, not the controls. I changed the way I right-click recently. And it's weird, but I'm getting used to it slowly. Let's see... What do I need to get rid of? I'm sorry, I'm just completely frazzled right now. Put that away, put those away. I'll keep these, because those are important and useful. I don't need nether wart with me. Definitely not that much sugarcane. And I'm just gonna dump everything in here, you know what? And why do I need any of this stuff? Keep a little bit of cobblestone, that's always useful. Everything else can just... Yeah, we're good. Probably want a bucket of water, though. That is the one thing that I probably do want. Is that an item? It looks like an item. Oh, right, I covered the water in lily pads. There isn't going to be any water here. Sorry, we're getting, Interesting. So how do I... Okay. Sorry, still getting used to this new right-click method. Okay. So, yes, I want to talk about politics and the political process. And I want to start by telling you about what I did today. So today, I walked off my college campus, which is an easy thing to do. You just walk for a minute and you're off campus. It's a small campus. And I walked to the I live in the United States, so there's two main parties. There's the Republicans and the Democrats. In case you didn't know, you probably did though. I know my audience probably knows these things. And I walked to the office of the Democratic Party in my county. And there was a meeting being held by a candidate for a Senate position. There are elections coming up for the Senate, and there are a bunch of different candidates for the Senate in this state, and one of them was hosting a training session, I believe. Yeah, I think that's what it was being referred to as, a training session for collecting petitions for this candidate. So, basically, apparently, and I don't know politics in the US really that well. I took political science, a political science class my freshman year of high school. That was a long time ago, and I barely remember anything. So, I don't even know if I'm gonna... Sorry about that. I don't even know if I'm gonna get all these details right. But basically, there are two different ways for a candidate for Senate to get on the actual ballot, which is the thing that you use to vote. There are two ways for a person to be eligible for people to actually vote for them. One way is through a caucus, and I believe you need 30% of votes. I could be completely wrong about all this, by the way, but I think if 30% of people vote for you at a caucus, then you are eligible to be on the ballot. And the other way is by getting a certain number of signatures in every district. So that is the way that this particular candidate was going, and this candidate needs help with that. And so I went to get training on how to help this candidate collect signatures. And that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be helping this candidate get on the ballot. So what I'm going to be doing over the next, I think, month and a half is going to be directly affecting the ballot that voters in my state are going to end up with. And that's kind of crazy, right? I'm trying to get a person on the ballot. Like, I don't know if that's crazy to anyone else, but it's certainly crazy to me. The fact that, it's so easy. I mean, it's going to be a lot of work, obviously, and I really hope we can get it done. But in theory, I can actually make a change to what a small part of my country is going to be voting on in the upcoming election. And that was a pretty crazy realization to me. I came back to campus and met up with one of my friends, and I was just laughing about it. And she was like, "I'm not surprised at all. Why are you surprised?" And I was like, I never thought I'd be getting into politics. And she was like, "This is the least surprising thing you've ever told me." So apparently she expected me to get involved with this, but I certainly didn't. And I find it crazy that it's so easy. So that's just for a little bit of context. And, for a bit of extra context, I feel like this is a common experience, which is why I want to talk about it. But I have pretty much always, I think, had this impression that there's sort of this wall, this invisible wall between me and politics. Oh, hey, it's lucky that I accidentally mined out that block, because otherwise I wouldn't have discovered this iron. Very nice. So, yeah, I've always felt that there was this sort of invisible wall between me and politics that meant that whatever happened with the higher ups, that's just what's happening up there, and there's nothing really you can do about it. I mean, you can vote, but realistically, what's one vote going to change, right? One vote's not going to make a difference. Of course not. You're deluding yourself if you think one vote is going to make a difference. Now, that's kind of a myth, I think. Like, I do believe that a vote can make a difference, and you should totally go vote if you can. Like, seriously, go vote, please. But, it's always felt like there's not really that much you can do to affect politics. And as I've gotten into college, my view of that has been drastically changed because I'm now part of multiple different organizations that are doing political stuff. And it's crazy, just it feels like I'm actually making a difference. Like, I feel like I'm seeing the impacts of my work, which is just insane. I never expected to be able to affect things in this way. So the wall has been revealed to not really exist. It felt like politics and whatever happens in Washington, D.C. is just unreachable, but that's simply not true. And I want to encourage anyone who feels like there is a wall there. Like, whatever happens will happen, and there's not really much I can do about that. I want to encourage you to rethink that and go, actually, yes, I can get involved and I can make a difference. Because I didn't really believe it at first either, but now I'm definitely starting to believe it, and I'm definitely starting to see that the wall isn't actually there. I forgot to get water. Of course I did. What do I do? Do I go all the way back? That seems so dumb. Can I just block up this single lava source? Or is there going to be more? I'm so scared right now. Okay. Well, that's that. Is there going to be more? There is more. Looks like that's it, though. Okay. I can deal with that. I'm okay with that. We're just going to pretend there's nothing here. And we are going to advance with caution, because I could have just fallen into the lava if I wasn't careful there. Yes, so yeah, the wall has been revealed to not really exist. I like this. I like that site. I like that site very much. Yeah, so the wall doesn't really exist now, as far as I can tell, and I just feel like I'm actively, affecting politics, and it's great. So many diamonds. I love it. So that is a description of what I did today and how I feel about it, basically. And so now I want to talk to you, the viewer. I want I want to talk to you, whoever you are. Whoever you are, young or old or somewhere in between, whatever your gender is, wherever you live, whatever the color of your skin is, no matter what, you are in a place where you can make a difference, even if you're too young to vote. You know, people tell you that you gotta vote, and that's true. You should vote. You really should. If you can vote, definitely do. If you can't vote, maybe don't. But that's a different matter. But I would say that even as a 13-year-old, 12-year-old, 10-year-old, whatever, you can make a difference. I mean, look at Greta Thunberg. She's making a huge difference, and she is so young. I mean, she's a role model for a lot of young people around the world because she's doing so much, and yet, she's still, by many people's definition, a child. So she's just one example of a person who's out there making a real difference, and you obviously don't have to go nearly as far as she is to make an impact. So, I would encourage anyone who's out there who cares about anything you care about. I guarantee you there's some way to get involved with it politically, and I would recommend doing that because as much as it's nice to, do your own little small things, like, for instance, I really care about the environment, so I went vegetarian. That's a small thing I can do. Realistically, it's not going to make that much of a difference because what you really need if you want to make a difference to something is systematic change. You have to change, groups of people if you really want something to change. I firmly believe that. So that's why I believe that politics is the most effective way to cause change if you want change to happen. So if you care about something changing, I would recommend that you get into politics. And I know it's a scary thing, but you can do it. So some of the things I would recommend are if you're too young, you most likely go to school, right? And if you go to school, I guarantee you there are, well, not necessarily, I guess it depends on your school, but I think there are probably most likely clubs you can get involved with, and those clubs might not necessarily have a political bent, but if there are clubs, then you can probably create one. And even if there aren't clubs, I would encourage you to ask your school if you can create a club and try to, get involved in things, There are a lot of opportunities out there. You can always look things up on the internet if you're not sure where to get started. There are so many people who care about so many different things in the world. I guarantee you can find tips. I'm not really here to give those tips. I don't know much about activism in itself, but I'm here to tell you that if you can find ways to do it, people who can give you advice on how to do it, it's a wonderful thing. It's a really cool thing to get involved with something and to be working on something you care about. I love that. I'm gonna head over there, I think, and try to get that iron. So I would highly recommend that you try to get involved in a club or an organization near you. If your school doesn't really do clubs, or if you're not in school, then I guarantee you there are non-profits near you that do things that you would probably care about. So I would encourage you to get involved with those. It's great for many, many reasons. It's great for your future, for all our collective future, obviously. Working to make the world a better place. It's gonna help all of us out. I firmly believe that. So, yes, that is my recommendation. You can get involved with nonprofits if there are no clubs that you can really get involved with. And I would recommend just reaching out to friends and seeing what they care about, and you can help get involved with whatever they like. And yes, this is just a plug for activism, really, because I think the world needs it. We're never gonna have a better world if we don't start doing activism. Also, this lava pit is really deep. I do not want to fall in. So yeah, that's my little plug for activism. And I'm going to particularly encourage anyone out there who is looking to get into activism or even thinking about it to work on climate change. And I don't know, I've probably discussed this before in Uncut Ramblings episodes. You've probably heard me talk about it, and you're probably like, Jessica, okay, we get it, you care about this thing. Yes, I care about this thing. I have made no secret of that. I really, really care about this thing. But I care about this thing because I think it's something everybody should care about, and I think the only reason you could possibly disagree with that is if you think that climate change doesn't exist. And if you think that climate change doesn't exist, well, there's a lot of information out there, and I'm not sure I could change your mind, but you know, even without knowing the specific facts you've been presented with, I definitely couldn't change your mind. But I certainly believe that climate change exists, and if you believe that climate change exists, then I think you should definitely be doing something about it, because it is obviously a huge threat to everything, just everything, really. Everything we humans do on this planet. All our lives are at risk here, and I firmly believe that we need to be doing everything we possibly can do to stop it or slow it down. Every little bit counts, because every degree of climate change will bring more suffering. I firmly believe that. So I'm not trying to scare people here. I mean, I kind of am, honestly. I think scaring, you know, it's kind of important because this is a scary thing we're talking about, and I think people need to realize that. I think people don't really quite understand the full extent of how scary this is sometimes. But yes, I would highly, highly encourage people to work on climate change, because I think it is the biggest issue of our time, and we really, really need to be worried about it. So that's my little plug for climate activism. If you live in the United States, there's Environment America is one group that I'm involved with. There's also the Sunrise Movement, if you want to get involved with that. That's a youth movement. They're working for the Green New Deal. Oh, hey, I've been here before. Interesting. Yeah, they're trying to get the Green New Deal in place, which, you know, a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on the Green New Deal. I say if you want to promote it, go for it. And I'm not going to share any opinions on it myself. And, but there's so many different groups. So I've just mentioned two, but there's so many, and they're all worth getting involved with, I would say, just to show people you're passionate about it. And go on climate strikes is one thing. That's one thing I would highly recommend, is if you have an opportunity to go to a climate strike, you know, if you have to strike for it, strike. I struck from class for the most recent climate strike, the one that was back in December. I did not go to class that day because I think that a livable future is more important than one day of chemistry class. But maybe don't tell your parents I said that. I don't know. Yeah, I would highly recommend getting involved is the gist of this video, and I'm sure I've said that far too many times at this point, and you're probably getting bored of me saying that, so I apologize. And I think I've probably been talking for long enough at this point, honestly. Although, these zombies are not going to leave me alone, so I should probably at least kill them. And yeah, this is a big cave system. It's going to take a while to explore. Look at all these different branches. I should probably do the thing where I block off the branch after I've explored it. That's what I typically do if I'm exploring a big cave system, and it works pretty well. But yeah, that's that. Look up what you can do in your area. I guarantee you there are things. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, I guarantee you there are things you can do. And I would also recommend things within walking distance. That way you don't have to drive a car or bother with public transport. But of course, if public transportation is good in your area, then go for it, obviously. I'm always one to encourage public transportation. Never one to encourage cars. Again, climate change. I'm an activist, okay? I'm an environmental activist who cares about these things, and I apologize for pushing my viewpoint so strongly, but I think that it is genuinely something that we really, really, really need to care about. And with that, I suppose I should probably leave you all alone and encourage you to go get involved with things. Yes, that has been the goal of the video. I think I have successfully driven home my point, and I will shut up now. So, Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed hearing my opinion, and go do stuff. I'll see you next week. Bye!